what did your people say when they found out that you were studying this culture?
Right. So when my old aunt found out the first time, she had come to visit me, and I was living on my own. I had bought a house out in Steel City because I had a family and stuff.
Right.
Well, I had a family actually before I actually started to study.
Okay.
I had a young moon that was born, and then probably when she was around, just going into her wisdoms, that's when I started to study. And then one day I happened to leave my book of life just out, and my older came to visit, and somehow she went and kind of looked through my book, and she seen the black man is God, and so it kind of bugged her out because she's very religious in that sense. You know what I mean?
She was really religious.
So she sat me down and she said, "Son, what's going on? I looked at some of the things that you're reading, and it's scaring me because what is with this Black Panther thing? Like
Black Panther,
this black militant thing? Like you're scaring me. Like what are you doing? Like." So I had to explain to her, Mom, it's not that, like the thing is, this knowledge has actually helped me, you know what I mean? Because I was lost growing up in this wilderness for so long, and you even explained to me that you suffered being the only Asian person growing up in Woodbridge, which is in Toronto, us goes to Toronto, that, you suffered so much, and then they treated you so poorly, and you had no friends, even the teachers were so mean to you. And that kind of followed through with me because even growing up, being really young, I had two cousins that were basically my uncle's sons, and they were half original. You know what I mean? So, in many ways, they had
half original. What do you mean?
They was half colored.
Half colored. Okay.
So half white, half Chinese.
Oh.
Right.
Okay.
So, what happened is they got a lot of the family somehow. Even though my grandparents are Chinese, my grandfather was born here too. You have to understand. He went back and got my older from China. But just growing up with them being really young, it seemed like they got all the blessings. And they were, maybe, I don't know if it was because they're boys in Chinese culture. Usually, the son gets more of the blood of the black, and then the daughters kind of get because the son carries on the name.
Right.
It's
more
of the next of kin of the family, right? So I don't know if it was that or if it's because they were half original, but it lowered my self-esteem, and I developed this thing where I had this self-hate and doubt, and I didn't want to be Asian even. You know what I mean?
Wow.
I wanted to be colored. I wanted to be colored, and I'm watching Dukes of Hazzard and the TV programming me in society, so it was difficult for me. You know what I mean? And then going to school and being like one of the only original kids in the class. They would call me Ching Chong and do this thing with their eyes, so it really hurt me, you know what I mean? They called me fish lips because I had big lips, so I just felt ugly, and I felt unwanted in society, you know what I mean? Until I got older, and it wasn't only until it was really hip-hop that showed me, you know what I mean, that black people suffered more than you. They went through slavery and stuff, you know what I mean?
Wow.
So, and then I always had black friends, and they was the ones who always showed me love. And when my dad separated, it was around when I was power. And my physical degrees. So, I grew up kind of rough. I grew up in and out, just in the hood, basically, you know what I mean? And low income housing. I remember waiting for housing. And my older was suffering, and we was living in the shelter.
Right.
Myself and my little sister. You know what I mean? And then eventually we moved to this new area, which we thought was the suburbs. But then all these other people from these other hoods ended up moving there.
Right.
But it was the brothers, it was the black brothers and sisters who really embraced me. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because the connection was really hip hop. You know what I mean?
Now, how did she respond to that? What you was manifesting to her? Did she take on to it?
She understood once I explained to her, and I had to explain to her that what I'm studying is not a black militant group. We're not racist, even though we do teach that the black man is God. You know what I mean?
White man is the devil.
Right, and the white man is the devil. But the science is that's a physical thing, and I understand that. It's more mental because all of us have good and bad equally. It's up to us to choose. You know what I mean?
If Mecca did this.